Welcome to the Heidi Thorne Show. I'm your host, Heidi Thorne, and in this podcast, I share my real-world self-publishing and small business experience with you. Before we get started, I just want to remind you to like, comment, share, follow, and subscribe. Now let's get on with today's show. Quick, think of a book that you think has changed the world, but it can't be the Bible, the Quran, or any sacred text of an organized religion. Go. Time's up. Did you have trouble thinking of one? I know I did. Off the top of my head, I could only think of Rachel Carson's Silent Spring. But honestly, I think it was her non-book work that helped bring about changes in thinking about the environment. The same could be said for whatever book you thought of as a world changer. P.S. I'm curious what you did come up with as a world-changing book. Please let me know in the comments. Books can be a slow way to bring about change, especially these days with less book reading and more multimedia and online content consumption. Yet it's amazing how many authors still say that they want to write and publish a book to change the world. And as I'm recording this, it's around Earth Day, and there's a lot of talk about climate change and environment and social justice and all those kinds of things. So I thought, let's talk about books and changing the world. I receive a number of inquiries from authors, primarily from those who write nonfiction, who want to change the world in some way, and who are anxious to get mass distribution or exposure for their books to spread their messages. I've found that if authors have to contact me about getting distribution or exposure for their books, that usually means they have few or no followers and fans, no significant online presence, no media connections, no idea of how to sell and market their work, and more importantly, no idea of how to bring about the change they seek. They believe that a book expounding on their ideas will be the watershed act that will turn the world to their worldview, but that's not how the world works. The mental error that these authors make is to believe that if enough people will read their books, those who read will immediately believe or behave differently. But changing people's minds and actions is a monumental task. It's a bit of a God superhero conceit to believe that this one book that they're writing will be the one thing that turns the world around. What do they want readers to do to help bring about change? True, some may only be seeking a change in attitude, not immediate action. But these books can often slip into being an extended, opinionated rant without providing anything actionable. The real problem is that these authors haven't built a like-minded author platform or fan base that believes as they do. Those followers and fans can then influence people in their own social spheres. Visualize it as concentric circles, with influence starting at the author's fan base center and slowly working outward toward the world at large. If authors so want the change, why do they think just publishing and selling books is the way to make that happen? It's as if they're saying to the world, you should change and you should buy my book so that I can tell you why and how. Although that might sound ignorant or arrogant, there's nothing really wrong with that. But if they don't do any outreach, such as blogging, podcasting, social media, speaking, networking, volunteering, online or offline community participation, collaborating with others, etc., they shouldn't wonder why no one is interested in hearing or buying what they have to say. You also have to remember that book reading is competing with all other forms of content, including social media, videos, gaming, broadcast and streaming, shows and movies. The list is exhausting. So selling books to spread a message is tough. Here's where it gets even more difficult for change-seeking authors. How will they measure the impact of their books to foster change? Often people who want change express that change in the most vague of terms. Here's one of my favorite examples. I want to empower, fill in your target group of people here. Okay, and that means what? It's a great soundbite with nothing specific to bite into. In addition to being vague, authors' lofty, world-changing goals cannot be measured in any specific way. Let's go back to the empowerment issue. How would you measure empowerment? Except for exceptionally small groups, many subgroups of the world's population number into the millions. Would a single author's work be able to empower that many people? Probably not without an unimaginable investment or a very long period of time. Realize that producing a landmark book that seems to change the world is a gamble. The operative word here is seems. Your book is really just one piece of a larger effort that builds a community that bands together to change the world. Should you write and publish books with the hope of changing the world? Absolutely. Why not? And I'm not immune to the changing the world thing. I wrote the book Eco-Friendly Promotional Product Guide, which is on green marketing, so I hope you'll check that out. Now back to our discussion. Just remember that change is achieved through collective, cumulative, and collaborative efforts. Understand that your book may be part of the change, not the sole maker of change. I hope you found that helpful, and if you did, please rate, review, and subscribe to The Heidi Thorne Show on whatever podcast app you like to use. I'm on all the major ones: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, you name it, I'm probably on it. Like the YouTube video better? Just subscribe to my Heidi Thorne YouTube channel and turn on the notification bell so that you get an alert when a new video is up. I would appreciate it if you would share the audio podcast or the video with your friends on social media. And if you want to see my self-published books, you can find my books on Amazon, Audible, and Apple Books. All you have to do is type in my name on any of those sites, Heidi Thorne, and a list of all the available books will show up there. So I hope you will check out the Eco-Friendly Promotional Product Guide. If you'd like to connect with me, my website is very simply HeidiThorne.com. And if you'd like to connect with me on social media, I'm primarily on Instagram and TikTok. You just have to find me at Heidi Thorne. Thank you so much for listening and for your support. I'll look forward to talking with you again in the next episode. And in the meantime, have a great day.